A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. Coming up in our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to us by ogpay.com, we are featuring the amazing Nina Bergman, an actress, singer, songwriter, and a model. She was born in Denmark, and she's the granddaughter of Russia's greatest actor, Pavel Kadoknikov. Nina spent her early childhood traveling around Europe with her Russian gypsy grandparents. Her latest work includes the starring role Marie in Hell Hath No Fury, playing a French resistance fighter. Her performance in Assassin X earned her the Honorable Mention Award for Best Actress from the AOF International Film Festival for her role as the notorious Trinidad. Her other work includes playing the lead opposite actors like John Malkovich, David Arquette, Vivica Fox, and Jesse Metcalfe, to name a few. Today we're chatting Hollywood, career, and finding the balance. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hi.
So nice to have you on.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
So let's run through this. At 14 years old, you receive a scholarship to the musical theater school Erding Academy in London. And a year later, you find yourself in Moscow attending the world famous Bolshoi Theater. And from there, you moved to New York City and you got accepted at NYU Tisch School of the Arts.
Yes.
Fellow Tischer. Talk about a path. But was this well thought out, or was it serendipitous?
No, at 14, all I knew was I had to get out of Denmark, where I grew up, and my family life at home wasn't really there. So I just needed to get out. And then when I got a scholarship to school in London, I just left. And then I went and visited my gypsy Russian grandmother in Moscow and auditioned for the Bolshoi Theater, which is one of the best schools in the world for ballet. I was like, I can't say no to that. And then I just always knew I was going to end up in New York. And then at 16, I think 17, I went to New York by myself. And then,
the rest is history. So let's chat Hell Hath No Fury. It's out now on Hulu and Amazon. You did a fantastic job. Female-led World War II action thriller. It was released in the UK, I know, this past May. Directed by the Jesse Johnson. He's a really, really talented director. Yes. And you filmed alongside some really impressive actors. Daniel Bernhard, that we know from John Wick, Louis Mendelor, we know him from Rambo and Last Blood, and Timothy Murphy, Sons of Anarchy, always a favorite. I love that show. Did you audition? Are you athletic? And did you do your own stunts?
Yes, I did audition. I had to fight for this part. They had another girl actually cast as the lead. So I really had to fight for this one. And then I do all my own stunts. I was an amateur boxer in New York to pay for school. I, do mixed martial arts. I did everything that you see there.
I love it. I'm so proud of you. You are stunning, gorgeous, talented. I love empowering women, and I know how hard Hollywood can be. What is it like being the only female lead?
It was very interesting because it was shot during COVID, so it was a very small crew, and I worked with a couple of the guys before. Louis Mendelor, I did Doom Annihilation. It was shot in Bulgaria, and Timothy V. Murphy, we worked together. I played Wonder Woman with Jesse Johnson. Yeah, so I knew them, and they're method actors. So it was it was an incredible experience, and I was in my little bubble. Because I'm one of those, I stay in my bubble, especially for a movie like that. So I didn't really feel I had a makeup artist that was a female, that I brought in, one of my favorites. But I didn't really feel everyone was so professional, respectful. I didn't really feel that male-female thing.
Discrepancy, right? So the men treated you very nicely and equal.
Oh,
and I'm very, very happy to hear that. How long were you on set for, and what location were you at?
Well, it was shot, during COVID. So we shot the main chunk in 12 days. And then we had to do like a lot of reshoots, and it was shot in Russia, and it was shot like all over the place. It was kind of pieced together because it was during COVID. So I had to run around with that super cool haircut for months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
love it.
I was like, please, can we be done so I can I had to lose a lot of weight.
You look sexy though. You look sexy.
Thank you. But it was, it feels very vulnerable to have all your hair chopped off, and especially because it was chopped off with scissors that they used back then. So it's like patches,
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you're brave. You're brave. Let's move on to wage inequality in male dominated Hollywood, so to speak. Do you feel that there is still a big discrepancy in wage inequality, especially in an industry that is so male dominated? Most lead roles are given to men.
Yes, I don't feel it so much with the pay and the money. I feel it like all of the cool parts are for males. You know what I mean? Being a woman who tends to like to play the more badass and stronger women, all of those good parts are male parts.
Yeah.
But there's very few and far parts in between. So when I read Marie like that, I mean, I had to have it. I have fought for it. I begged for it. I went to the table read. You know what I mean? I had to really fight for it because there's not a lot of parts for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about nepotism? I mean, I know your grandfather was a great actor. Yeah. Nepotism has been prominent in Hollywood since its conception, with many actors, singers, and models getting a leg up in the industry due to their successful family members. And within the past few years, the idea of criticizing it rather than accepting it has become more in vogue, so to speak. Are you faced with more scrutiny in the casting process?
No. I mean, it was a Russian producer that was producing Hell Hath No Fury, so it did not hurt that my grandfather was one of Russia's greatest actors. But, I normally don't pull that card and don't talk about it. And, hence why I went to school and I wanted to learn the craft, because I believe acting is a craft. And I never used it. There's some people that use where they come from a lot. I never mention it. I don't have his last name. You know what I mean? I want to earn it on my own. So I never had any of that.
Got it. And but you know what? That fact that you were so far removed from, first of all, he was not famous in America as he was in Russia, but separate of that, it also lives inside of you, and it has nothing to do with nepotism. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Nina. You know what I mean? Your grandfather obviously was good at what he did, a natural born talent, but just like you. And that's okay. That's something to be proud of. I get very angry when people, talk about nepotism in Hollywood. I have a daughter. She's about 6.5 years old. She's been in movies with Mel Gibson, with Jamie Foxx, with Rita Ora. She's been acting since a little baby. Sure, her father's a big Hollywood producer, right? But she also is very talented. She works hard for it. There's no child at 6.5 years old that has her skill set because she is in voice and acting classes, whereas her average, peers in school are not. So yes, I do believe that the talent is part of who you are, part of your history. So, but you have nothing to worry about with talent because your talent speaks for itself. So let's move on to the next thing. You announced your new movie at Cannes, Cold Meat, that you are starring. You're starring in that one. What is that about?
It's a drama thriller. It's written like a play with a wonderful actor called Ellen Leach from Downton Abbey, it's French director. I'm not sure how much I can talk about it and give the movie away.
Oh, you don't have to. It's just what's the tag?
I play, against type. I've actually been All-American. A single mom who works in a small diner in a small town, and I'm kind of like down on my luck, and I meet Mr. Charming and all this stuff happens.
Oh, I love it.
I find my inner strength.
Okay.
One of the hardest movies I've ever shot. We shot in Canada, freezing cold, and the places I had to go. I just finished the Hell Hath No Fury, which was hot, shaving my head. You know what I mean?
Right.
one traumatizing movie, and then now this one.
This one. Oh, listen, I know what it's like to film in Canada. We filmed a movie called Georgetown in Ontario, in Toronto. Christopher Waltz directed that one, and he also starred in it. Annette Bening, Vanessa Redgrave. It was a great movie. But I remember we were stationed there, and it was cold. You're right. So I was going to say, how is family life, or is the focus on you at the moment? But with all this traveling, I would have to assume the focus is on you.
I mean, I still, family is very important to me. I was just in Denmark. I was in Denmark, Switzerland, and I try, even if it's for like 4 days, I try to go home as much as I can to stay grounded, because I feel like if you stay, Hollywood can tend to, I don't know how to put it, your reality gets distorted.
Oh, for sure,
I need to go home and get grounded and remember where I come from,
Without a doubt, without a doubt. So you like to promote vegan lifestyle and loving your pets and your animals and all of that. I love that. Love that about you. Does your vegan lifestyle help you stay fit, so to speak? Or I mean, I would assume that you need a lot of protein to be able to do the stunts and be as physical as you are. How do you balance it all out?
Well, I think there's a misconception about protein. We're taught that if we don't eat protein, we're going to die. And my philosophy is I eat what the strongest animals eat, what elephants, gorillas, whatever. They're all vegans. You know what I mean? They're the strongest animals on the planet.
Yeah.
So I think it's a myth. If I need to bulk up, I play like sometimes those video game characters and characters where I need, to put on those 20 pounds, I'll, throw in protein shakes and stuff. But other than that, I mean, I've never had a problem with it. I think it's a misconception. And
it is a misconception. I wholeheartedly believe people are just not educated, that they don't realize that you could find that same amount of protein in nuts, in fruits and vegetables, and certain, beans. And of course, there's a whole bunch of alternatives. But I agree with you. I mean, I don't eat any red meat, and I'm pretty much pescatarian at this point in my life. All right, so let's play a little back and forth. We have about a minute and a half left to the segment, and we're going to do like a little quiz. Okay, you're going to answer quickly. Just it's going to come off the cuff. Okay, so what's your favorite game or sport to watch and play?
Ooh, I'm amateur boxing.
Boxing. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car?
Ride a motorcycle. I ride a bike.
There you go. Okay, what would you sing at karaoke night?
Oh, I'm terrible at karaoke. Terrible. I would do a Bob Dylan song, so you can't sing.
Okay, there you go, Bob Dylan. What 2 radio stations do you listen to in the car the most?
In LA, like obviously,
I heart.
Yeah, but obviously, that's a no.
And your own personal collection, of course. Now, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, that's so hard. I love food. That you can't do that to me. Thai food. I love Thai.
Okay, what's the worst gift you've received?
The worst gifts. Like clothes from my dad that he thinks is cool.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
I'm a boots girl. I have tons and tons and tons of boots.
Love it. If you were a superhero, which you've played many times, what powers would you have?
Oh, I want to fly. I want to fly so bad.
Oh, me too. What would you do if you won the lottery?
Oh, charity work.
Oh my God, that's my answer too.
Education.
What form of public transportation do you prefer? Air, boat, train, bus, or car?
My motorcycle. It's my
no, but you can't take the motorcycle. You got to pick.
Okay, my Thunderbird.
Your Thunderbird. Okay, last question. If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be?
Ooh, I would have been nicer to myself when I was a little girl. I was very hard on myself.
Oh, I love your answers. You are such a natural talent. We are at the end of our segment, my dear Nina, but I wanted to thank you for coming on because you are absolutely inspirational, fun to chat with, and really just unique and one of a kind.
Oh, thank you. No, you've been amazing too. Well, it's been a delight. You're awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Guys, you definitely have to check out Nina Bergman. That was our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to us by ogpay.com. Head to her website, ninabergman.com. Also check her out all over social media at Nina Bergman. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.